Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Um, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
My internet is running so bad right now. But I've got it on my network, so hopefully it's fine.
Yeah. Seems perfectly normal to me.
Good, because my um computer is running like complete dog water. It seriously is so bad. I'm trying to do I had a whole picture I was going to use and I can't even upload it because my everything's just so slow right now. So
Wow. Well, that's lame.
it is lame. I agree with you.
You're like, I'm going to have to agree with that.
But let's talk about how your night was. How was dinner?
It was good. I'm glad Claire hit me up. He's like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? I'm like, well, I was supposed to be hanging out with Bobby, but her, uh,
What?
I messaged her. Remember how I was like, I got to message her. And because
Uh huh.
I did like immediately after. And she's like, yeah, we'll do something. But then she was like, I have to go home. She's like, I might have to take my son's dog to the vet because he's been sick. I'm like, all right, well, just let me know.
Yeah.
So then, I don't know, 20 minutes later, she messaged me and she's like, he seems like he's fine. So what do you want to do? I'm like, I started to respond. And then, like, just minutes later, she's like, oh, wait, never mind. He's puking again. I think I have to take him. So,
Oh man, hope he's okay.
oh, he's not.
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. So, a little bit later, I messaged her. I'm like, so how's your son's dog? And she says, I think it looks like he's got cancer. She said his lymph nodes are swollen to the size of softballs, and they found something in his um in his like naughty parts or something like that. She said like in his nutsack or something like that. So she has to take him to a real vet, like a regular vet Monday or something like that, but she was not optimistic.
Oh my gosh, that
So
makes me really sad.
yeah. So I was
Didn't
like,
she just lose a cat? Was that her I'm thinking of?
she had a dog of her own that um died, and she's really sad about it. I don't know. I mean, it might have been, and then a cat maybe too. I can't.
I mean that sounds like weird, but I thought I vaguely remember her mentioning, or it was the anniversary of her cat's death or something like that. So that's rough.
What's up? Someone saying, "What is the thing you stumbled upon, and you're curious as to who already knew about it?" Yeah, sorry for the back and forth. I wasn't sure if I was going to be available tonight, and then I
Well,
was, and then I wasn't, and then I was, and
it's all good. Tyrus and I were talking via Instagram, and we had a conversation wondering what you were going to have for dinner at this, impromptu dinner.
well, we went to Outback Steakhouse, and so I had a giant ass steak.
Oh, he guessed steak. He said, I bet it'll be steak.
Well, I've been saying that I've been on the carnivore diet, so it's not too far of a, you know.
That's so funny.
And then I had some broccoli, and I took a little corner slice of the warm bread that they serve.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a little piece of that, and then had a little couple of bites of the salad. Forecasts 5 Windy says, I just randomly joined the stream and heard nutsack. Yeah, that's how stuff goes over here.
Probably hear it more than
You're
more than
right.
just a
More than
few
you want.
times.
There's Dan Goodwin.
What's up, Dan? I am just flying by the seat of my pants here because I had a whole thing I was going to draw, and now my computer's really screwed me over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get to draw skulls. Oh no.
Terrible. I hate it.
Someone saying, "Am I aware there were plans to do an Evangeline movie?" Yeah, I've heard all the kind of the announcement on that. I guess we'll see if it actually gets made and if they actually make something worthwhile. But I'm not hopeful. I want it to be good, but I kind of doubt that it will be. Evangeline, Jessica, is a Rob Liefeld creation.
Oh.
Like this, it's basically a story of this angel who's fallen from heaven, and so she fights monsters on Earth in the skimpiest outfits you've ever seen in your life because you know
Why not?
that's how it works.
Mm-hmm. Isn't Rob Liefeld the one who created the really interesting Christian based comic book or something?
Um, I
Is
mean,
that
well, he
him?
threw a lot of Christianity into this Evangeline book, all about God and fallen.
That's the one. I think I know what it is then. I think I know what you're talking about. I kind of thought you said that that was that one I was thinking of.
Yeah. But the thing is that it never kind of like you never take it too serious because when you try to write this stuff and make it so earnest and so deadly serious, but you have this kind of like ridiculous costume design and it's so overly sexualized, but you're trying to like talk about the Lord and Savior, and I'm like, you need to stop. Yeah, you got to stop, man.
You need to stop yourself right now.
It's just you need to calm yourselves down.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. Speaking of sexualized, what are you drawing here?
Hey, hey. Uh,
Um,
just looking up some reference, and so muscly babes like you see there.
mm-hmm. Like you do.
I mean, that's not like overly sexualized, but it's a good figure, good.
I'm just teasing you, right?
I,
You know I'm joking. I joke. I
I
kid.
joke, I joke with you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Um, saying it's like I guess Olivia Wilde and Margot Robbie are involved. Yeah, I saw that. So I mean,
Hey, Olivia Wilde.
yeah, I think she's going to be director and Margot Robbie's to star. I'm like,
Oh, really?
I guess it's fine.
See, I would prefer Olivia Wilde, but
If we're going off looks, then I would agree.
yeah, same.
I wouldn't kick her out of bed,
Yeah, you shouldn't.
but who would I kick out at this point?
Hmm, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know. Remains to be seen.
right? Or not seen is the problem.
Have you ever kicked anybody out?
Like actually gotten to that point and been like, all right, let's do this. And I'm like, you know what? Never mind.
Yeah.
No, that's never happened because not like there's a harem waiting up, lining up. It's like, oh my god, it's my turn with Rob.
Oh my gosh.
In my head, it does, but
You're right. Oh my goodness, I love this.
yeah. So that's a movie. I mean, it's a movie deal, but Liefeld's had shit tons of movie deals in the works since the '90s, and not one has panned out. So,
Why do you think that is?
just I mean, he's taken meetings and all that type of stuff, but getting a movie made is tricky, and it just I don't know the whys or the hows, but it never has. Um,
Yeah.
and it's not because of him or anything like that. It's just shit's hard to get made. And then, I mean, a superhero movie like you got to be honest, superhero movies are not doing well right now, and female-led superhero movies are not doing well right now.
But if that was the original, the way it was originally done, do you think it would do better? Like the original character was female. They're not just switching it for the sake of switching it. Do you think it?
No, but they did the new Captain Marvel and that bombed, and they did Madam Web and that bombed. Um, so it's like it's kind of like this isn't anything anyone's asking for. Now they could surprise us and just do a really good movie and just like, all right, this is how it can be done. But we'll
Yeah.
we'll wait and see, right?
Yeah. Guess I'll find out. Let me see. I'm gonna scroll through. I'll be honest with you, my computer's running like garbage. I'm gonna have to do this on the phone. Mr. Demon says Rob Liefeld was basically trying to be like Ultimate Warrior, all holier than thou, and all that.
Yeah.
El Matasusus Sesus. Am I pronouncing that right? I don't know. Whenever I can't read, I just say I'm homeschooled, and that makes it all better. I haven't read Campbell's Glory, but it got a bunch of awards, I think.
Yeah, I know that book they're talking about.
Hello, Whitney. Just surprise, surprise, surprise. Rob is drawing a woman.
I know. I know.
Gayton says they couldn't find women who could bend like he draws.
Now they can do it with CG. Hey, look, I just picked up this book from the comic shop today. It's from the 90s, and that's a Rob Liefeld cover. This is getting probably going up tomorrow. But this is some classic. And he only did the cover. It's someone else drawing the guts of it. But I couldn't help but be like here's a panel from that book where it's the focus is the girl's ass. Like, look at that. Somebody
You're
chose
gonna
that.
pin that up on your wall.
I am not, because it's not that great. But it's funny.
It
Like,
is.
I can't wait to. Yeah, and and honestly, in terms of Liefeld stuff, this isn't the worst thing he's ever done. Seriously,
I was gonna say I actually didn't think the cover
it's
was terrible, but
not terrible, but it's
at least I don't have like rat tail hair
you're
dudes.
right. Yeah, yeah. But if you start picking it apart, it starts falling apart really quick. But someone saying like her hand. Well, which one? Like, look at her hand there. Tell me that that's a fist of some type.
Okay,
That's
that looks better than any hand I can draw, but
and then there's a goofy hand over here. And then if you look at the other girl's hands holding the sword, it's like one hand just disappears behind the other and it's barely holding onto the sword. It's just
hey, I'll buy it. Honestly, I'm kind of getting some good trick ideas here for hiding hands.
you just hide it behind something else and pretend it's not
Yeah,
there.
it's like it doesn't exist.
Not there. I don't see the problem.
Oh my gosh. Oh boy.
So did your family pick out a movie yet?
I don't know. I told them to pick one out, and I'll be out there to watch it.
So you don't get any say in it?
I don't really care that much.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, if something I really don't want to watch, I'll just, do homework or something because I have lots of that could be done.
Oh, that sounds boring.
It is. It's terrible.
You're like, that's why it's not done.
Yeah. Yeah, now you see the reason. It's all U.S. history, and I'm not about that life, but it's not my style, although I probably should care more.
I mean, maybe.
Dan Wren said his art is full of fun.
It's full of something.
Although you said this before, there are things he's done that you've really liked.
And that's true. But even the
And
stuff
it is very like dynamic stuff,
yeah,
so to be fair.
yeah. But you could even pick apart his good shit. You're like, why would you do this? Why are you doing that? What the hell is he doing? And then that's
You
the good stuff.
can even pick apart his good stuff.
Oh, that's the problem. I do have to be honest about one thing because Mr. Liefeld's got a podcast that he does,
Mm.
and he's been doing it for years. And he did a tribute to the whole Ed Piskor thing,
Mm-hmm.
and he talked about over a bunch of stuff, when he met him, how he met him, all that type of stuff. And then at the end, he kind of got real and was um, talking about how, mob culture uh, took someone down. And he's like, can we just be nice, please? And he got emotional. He was like crying on camera. Like, and it was really touching. He really,
Yeah, I watched that.
and it was like, well, the podcast or the little short video he did.
I watched the whole. Well, okay. I guess I watched whatever YouTube video was. So maybe
Because
not.
this is a podcast, so it's just him talking for like an hour and some,
Oh, okay. He did.
yeah.
I thought he did talk about the
He did
whole.
do a short video and he did get emotional on that, but then he did a full podcast where he talked about
Okay,
he
my
really
bad.
no, you're fine. I even almost sent it to you and like you should listen to like the last 10 minutes of this. Just the last 10 minutes where he talks about it. You know.
You should send it to me.
Like, can we all just be nicer? Can we just be nicer to each other?
It's true.
Stop and think about it before you decide to go online and start tearing people apart.
It's true. I think it's a real issue. You know.
Yeah, Dan Goodwin's like, yeah, his podcast movie. Yeah, Dan, it was something, you know, a very worthy kind of, statement that he made. And I've said this, I'm on a Facebook page that's basically just to hate Liefeld. Everyone's just like, fuck this guy. But um, somebody posted up a link to it and said that, he did this podcast and he had something nice to say. And everyone was kind of bouncing over themselves trying to like understand, like, how could Liefeld have something good to say? And I'm like, guys, look, at the end of the day, he's a human being.
Yeah.
And I'll criticize the shit out of his art, but you'll never hear me talking shit usually. Like, I'll never talk about his I'll never say anything bad about his family, about his wife, about his kids. Like,
Okay.
I'll talk about his
Okay.
online persona and he's a dick, and I'll talk about his artwork, which sucks. But that's kind of where it rises and falls. But he can, he can have a real human moment, and he did. And it's okay to admit it, guys. You know. And they're like, "Yeah, you're right. We know." But I'm like, "I know you can't stand him, but
Um, Mr. D-Man says, nobody in comics industry is nice. Is that true?
I mean, it's just human nature. Like, there's rude, messed up people all over the place, you know. And you find nice people and you find rude people. So,
Fair enough. Interesting.
yeah, yeah, I'll have to send you a link to it, and just like the last 10 minutes of it, where he just talks about the situation, and it even kind of moved me. I was like, oh, I'm feeling it. So, good job, Mr. Liefeld.
That's cool. That's cool. Uh, and Gaten says, Mr. D Man, I guess that's why I can't get in.
Yeah.
Daniel says, it's like a sports, it's like sport, it's like a sports dude. I'll call them on regarding their sport, but never personality.
Yep. And that's where it should, that's where it should just kind of rise and fall right there.
I'm kind of, it depends with me on the sports side of it because I don't know.
You get into football pretty big, so
Yeah. And I will say, like, my own guys on the teams that I root for, they act like shitheads sometimes. But again, I guess it's like, well, just because you see them act that way in front of the camera doesn't mean that's who they really are. And, we don't know how we would act at that high stress, I guess. And if a camera was on us all the time, you know, what would it catch?
right. Yeah, that's, we're not all perfect, and if we had something staring at us all the time, we're going to catch some bad moments that we all wish weren't. Someone saying it's like, ironically, it's probably while I'm still single.
Aw. No, it's because, you're too good for everybody. That's looking pretty good.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
Not that I expect anything else from the.
Oh, you shush.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
What you been up to for the majority of the day, though?
My kids and I kind of just went hard on organizing my house because that needed to be done.
You said hard.
Kids were. Oh, Mr. Brunson, you guessed correctly before you got on. I asked Robert what he had for dinner, and they went to he said
Out.
Outback Steakhouse, and he had steak. So you were right. We had this conversation earlier.
Giant steaks, so fucking huge. My buddy, he
What she
makes
said.
right, but it's because Claire, or my buddy here, he makes probably 10 times the amount of money I do. So he's like, "Come to dinner with me, man, buddy." Mike, he's like, "My wife's gone. I'm sitting around doing nothing. I'll buy." I'm like, "All right."
Hmm.
Fucking $40 steaks. So,
Nice.
yeah. In fact, I brought about a third of it home. I'm just like, I
I
don't.
was gonna say, can you even eat a $40 or $40 steak?
Oh,
I always like Longhorn is where I like to go and get steak.
yeah.
Love that place.
Comment here from, I hope I say this right, Latik Curry. I believe you messaged me a day or two ago, but he says, loving the artwork, you guys. So, hey, thank you. Appreciate the shout out and glad to see you on here. He's
Nice.
fellows that kind of found my stuff recently. And on occasion, I'll get a message from people just saying, "Hey, I watch your channel. I really enjoy it." I'm like, "Oh, well, thank you. It's really kind of, it's nice that someone takes a moment out of their day to stop and want to say, "Hey, by the way, I watch your stuff and I find it entertaining." You know, and
Yeah.
that's all they're doing, just saying, "Hey, I watch it and I like it," and I'm like, "Oh, well, thank you so much." So
Yeah, that's cool.
that video I made of Ed Piskor, it's got me about 100 subscribers from that video alone because the analytics track it of like who subscribed due to while watching this video.
Yeah, yeah.
Almost 100 people. It's like, geez, Lord.
It was good. It was good. You did a great job.
I'm just trying to speak real about it, and so I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah. Whitney says his loss is my gain.
Yeah, I actually said, "Hey, do you want this the leftovers?" Because I brought back the most of the bread because I'm not eating that. I took a little tiny chunk off the end of it, and then but I brought that back. I'm like, "Hey, if you want this, I do not have room for it, so go nuts."
You said you lost 15 pounds since starting this diet.
Down 15 on the carnivore diet.
That is awesome.
I was talking to one or two of my different friends. One of them was Danielle, who you know. And
Hmm.
I mean, but like, and you too, like for like 15 pounds on someone who's 6'3", my size, you don't see it. But someone who's smaller like you or Danielle, 15 pounds, whether you gain that or lose it, it shows like immediately. But I'm
Yeah. Oh,
fast.
I know. I know.
Yeah, if I can tell me. But I'm like, I can tell. Like I've had to notch my belt up one notch tighter to keep it snug. You know what I mean? Like I
That's
can
awesome.
feel the difference, but when you're a big guy like me, weight like that doesn't. um, it's not obvious. I'll have to lose like
Yeah.
40 or 50 before somebody will be like, hey, something's different about you. Did you get a haircut?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's what it is.
Uh oh yes, this L, and again I don't know if I'm saying this right. El Mata Sesus, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, said, yep, that's how I discovered you.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So thank you for, you know, joining up. It was, it's interesting for sure. What's the idea behind your skull design here?
Honestly, kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean, I guess. I don't really know.
You're like, I don't know.
I'm like legit just like drawing whatever right now because I don't yeah, I don't have my reference I was gonna use, so this is what you guys are getting.
This is what you're getting. You're getting it and you're going to love it.
Sorry. Sorry.
We've got Antonio Guetoer, Guetoeria. Sorry, I don't speak, I've only, so I can't translate what you're saying.
I don't speak English either.
I could barely function English words good.
Yeah, exactly same.
But he says, as mas di creature neses dientes vivaca great. Oh, Gaten translated it. He says the creature's hands and those teeth look great.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm assuming he's talking. I mean, I'm assuming this is the creature.
I mean, if he's we're calling my female figure here a creature, I mean, I don't know. Would you be offended if like your husband called you a creature? What if he called you like a lovely creature?
I wouldn't be offended if he called me a bitch. I don't like that.
Call me.
I don't
Oh,
get offended very easy.
what?
So
You're like, yeah, I know, whatever.
honestly, I really don't. So
Well, I'll keep that in mind.
you know that.
I You call me a bitch quite often. Like
Yeah.
last time,
To your face and behind your back.
you're like, okay, you bitch. I'm like, oh, I kind of like that.
You can always tell me if it offends you, and I won't. I'll stop. But
Someone says, but you'll have to remember, I'm a fan of the Goonies, so I may be translating it all wrong on purpose. Dude, that is
oh,
funny as hell. Where he's like translating,
nice.
if you do a bad job, you'll be locked in here for 2 weeks with no food or water. Oh my god, that's Goonies is one of the greatest movies of ever all time.
You want to hear something crazy?
What's up?
I had not seen the Goonies till about a year ago.
I think we need to not be friends.
It wasn't my fault. My parents are
It's
the worst.
everything is your fault.
Okay, that's. Oh, you know what? That's true.
You were gonna
I
like get defensive, and you're like, yeah, all right.
I forgot about that.
But it's also one of those movies like I like because I grew up with it. It's just
Hmm.
me, so I can understand. Like, so what did you think of it? Was it like fine, whatever? What would you
Oh yeah,
think?
no, I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's one of the absolute favorites.
No, I like I mean I I loved it honestly. I thought it was really good. It was I knew some of it, because it is so popular and people talk about it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I thought it was really good.
Tyrese Brunson said it's Beauty and the homeless Santa Claus skull.
The homeless Santa Claus. Yes, I love it. I just love skulls. I feel like there's so much you can do with them. You can make them beautiful, ugly, scary, like anything.
Yeah.
There was somebody where we used to work who I would draw, on our aprons and stuff a lot, uh, skulls. And mine myself, I had this intricate, I don't know if you remember, but it was like skull with the spinal cord coming down the back and the whole spine on each side of mine. And they said to me, she was like, "Why do you draw that stuff? It's so terrible." And I'm like,
Who
"Why
would
is it?"
who this is?
Do you know who it is?
No, but that's why I want to know if you can.
I don't even remember her name, but she was the gal who worked at kind of like doing like getting people to do like installs, but it was certain types. It had to do with appliances, I think. But she didn't work. I don't know how to explain this without saying where we worked. But yeah, she. I'll have to maybe try to message you on the side to try to explain who she was because I can't remember what her name was. Um, she drove me nuts for a couple of reasons because she would always use every customer's information to try to get sales.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I no, I mean I have several ideas in my head, but I can't like, oh, it must be this person. So
And she was very Christian, which is fine because so am I. But I'm just like,
hmm
you have a skull and you have this in your body. This is part of you. Just get over it.
right. Yeah.
And I said to her once, I said, well, like the Aztecs and the Mayans, they, use them for decoration. They painted skulls. I don't know. I said, I think they're neat. I was like, I said, I don't find any discomfort in them at all. And she got into it with me. And, I'm not confrontational.
Unless
So
somebody pushes your buttons.
am I? If someone pushes my button, I guess I
You,
am.
I mean that in that you will stand up for yourself and you will not be pushed over. You're not a pushover. So that's all I.
Yeah.
But
I guess
confrontation
that's just
is
true.
different. So yeah,
I
you're
was
not,
just
but you're no one's pushover. So
Thanks. Yeah, I was just kind of like, what does it matter? I'm going to it management said it was fine. I literally asked the person you were with tonight. I said, "Is this offensive? Is this a problem?" He said no, and I'm like, Cool. I'm good then." Like,
right,
I don't know. It was such a like I felt like way she was acting was worse than was more offensive than me drawing the skulls in the first place.
right.
Anyway, I don't know if my dad's kind of like that. He finds it super offensive, and so he doesn't really like this type of art that I do. But I'm like, whatever. I don't
I
know.
just oh
Yeah. Morning, Nathan,
yeah. What up from
coming
most?
to us from Australia.
A lot of conversations going on here.
I know. I'm like, I can't watch it anymore on my computer, which makes me so sad. That's looking really good. I like the short cropped haircut you gave her.
Well, it's what the reference is here.
Oh, oh, nice. Oh, wow.
This chick.
I
Yeah.
wish my arms looked like that.
I wish my arms looked like that.
Yeah, it's fair. Super fair.
But I guess that's about as far as I can take that drawing.
You
I'm trying
think?
to crowd it up with another drawing next to it, or just because sometimes I like to leave the drawing like
Hmm.
by itself like this because it kind of, can make a nice one off. But then it's like, is it a waste of paper? Ah, fuck it.
You know what? Just do it. You're big time now. You can waste some paper.
I'm big time now.
Aren't you a little bit?
No.
Kinda.
Kind of a big deal. I don't know how to say this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big deal. I'm a little deal. I'm average size deal. I can get the job done deal.
I'm an average size deal.
Yes.
That's funny.
Tyraz says I should do a metal shade drawing. I actually have a metal shade drawing. Goddamn, might be right here in this pile. I think my boy Isaac forgot to print it. He said he would. Let's see if I can dig it up right here because I feel like I did a good job on it, and he liked it.
Oh my gosh, Tyrus. I will. I'm gonna put my he messaged me today making fun of me
Why is that?
because I posted some shit about MGK. I like MGK and nobody, I get made fun of for it a lot. We're putting it on here. We're putting it on here.
Ah, found it.
Just for you. It's right there. Not the best done one, but it's there. I actually almost got this tattooed on my wrist. I'm kind of glad I didn't, but I almost did. I was going through some shit, okay?
Mighty Geek Studios says, Rob, you do know that you're not supposed to draw a lady prettier than your woman. Well, I don't have a woman.
So this is prettier than his woman.
Right? Yeah.
I'm just kidding with you, Rob.
No, you're not wrong. But yeah,
Whoa, that is cool.
Isaac Bell's Metal Shade characters. This girl can create like these
Wow.
giant gauntlets over her arm, and then this guy, he's got like these tendrils in this mouth and teeth in his chest that just spiral out.
You did that?
Yeah, this is mine. I did this back in 2020.
Wow, that is so good. How did I not know you did that?
You're not really my friend. If you were,
Uh, I know what metal shade is. I'm sorry. I'm
again,
sorry.
this is like 3 years old, so
Maybe I did. I just forgot
yeah,
about it. I'm just gonna put that. It's my poor memory.
yeah, it's all
That's
right.
what it is. Yeah, that it is epic. It is.
Yeah, I did the best I could do because I was like, shit, if I'm gonna try and show up in Isaac's book, you know.
So that's in there?
Well, he said he was going to print it, and in his most recent book, he printed a different drawing that I did, which is
Oh.
not the best I've ever done. But he put it in there, and I just wonder if he's forgotten because it's been a couple of years, and he's a busy guy with all kinds of shit going on. So you know, and I feel kind of chumpy, like, hey, you're gonna print that thing of mine? What the fuck, bro? You know?
Yeah, that's awesome. Dude, his stuff is crazy good. Now, I will say, does the anatomy of his characters make you feel a little bit self-conscious about the smallness of my breasts in comparison? Maybe.
What the fuck?
They are always like huge on his artwork.
Have you
Or
seen the book? I did a. Let me
oh, it's
speak
crazy.
of that.
It is kind of crazy.
Well, they're comic books, so they're always going to be exaggerated. But um,
They're still awesome. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, I do think about that.
how about? I mean, this is a double page spread, so I can't get it all in there. But
I mean, They're big. That's not as bad as some of them. I mean, when I say it's bad, but you know.
Well, how about right there?
Yes.
See, you can
Yes.
see both the back of her ass and the front of her chest. So it's all about twisting that anatomy.
Yep. Yep.
And then how about, oh, this is just a cool image. It's again, it's hard to see, but this bad guy here is stabbing her through the guts there.
Oh wow. Dude, I love this. You can't. I can't. I'm trying to point at it with my pencil, but no one can see what I'm talking about.
How about those right there?
Yeah,
There you
look at those balloons.
juggernauts.
Tyrus says it's all the MGK in your head, Jess. What? Oh, because why I can't remember Rob's drawing. Yeah, probably is true. He's made me stupid.
Wow.
Just kidding. Gayton says, LOL, Jess. Nathan, on to the breasting again, Jess. I gave you good ones. Okay. That is true. That is true. I can't deny that. That's a good point. That is true. You did. And I thank you for that, Nathan.
Oh, how about this? This is the centerfold in the book of the main villain's introduction.
Oh, hell yes.
Right? It's the first time Isaac's thrown in naked boobies in his comic, and I was like, hell of a way to introduce a character.
Yeah. Wow.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
That's
Coloring by his girlfriend is just freaking.
I was gonna say, does she do all the coloring? Because her art is really good too.
Yes.
I think I follow them both.
Yeah.
Mighty Geek Studios, Jess, as a 90s comics fan, that was the norm. That's what I'm to understand. Mr. Demon says, I hate the comics industry now. Antonio says, juicy. Uh, Tyrus says, all boobs matter. Wow. J Deep says, they look like acorns in a plastic bag sometimes.
Wow. It's true. Someone says, what's funny is you can draw them big, you get crap about a woman not looking like that. But then if you draw them small, the same people question whether you belong on Chris Hansen's show.
Oh, jeez. Dude, you don't want to end up with Chris Hansen at your door, or to enter a door and Chris Hansen be there.
Who's Chris Hansen?
Oh my gosh, please no, really? Oh, I'm sending you Chris Hansen videos.
Like the name's familiar, but
He catches pedophiles. I don't know if we
oh,
can say that on YouTube or not. Sorry.
you didn't say that. You said PDF file, like a
Yeah,
printed
he catches PDF files.
PDF file.
Yep.
I've seen videos of some guy like catching people and like, hey, we were gonna sit down and have a conversation about this. Do you
That's
want
him.
to? Okay, and like, or should I just call the cops? And people are freaking out. And okay,
Yeah. Yep, that's him.
yeah. I saw one recently where the guy who was the perpetrator was like some horribly crippled, like physically disabled dude in a wheelchair. Like, oh,
Oof.
whoops.
Oh man.
Someone says it's a catch-22. You have to aim directly at the mid-range, which that's fair. But I like that Isaac's just going for it. He's like, oh hell no. He's doing it with no apologies. This is what I'm doing. Like it, great. Don't like it, don't care.
I like it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing. Truthfully, I really am. Because it's true. Superheroes, comics, art, that's just how it is.
I mean, all the dudes are big, giant, muscly.
Exactly.
And they're comic books. They're superheroes. I don't want to watch like fat, schlubby people running around trying to save the world. That's lame. I want to watch Wonder Woman looking hot, bouncing bullets off her wrists and being awesome. Call me weird.
That is so weird, Rob.
It is so odd.
Crazy. Kane says, draw a guy's junk like a melon in an eye patch, and you don't hear a thing.
It's like, oh yeah, he's got a huge bulging package, whatever.
Does that make anybody feel self-conscious?
Hey, that's
None of
how.
my business.
There you go. Thank you.
None.
It's how you use it and all that jazz.
Mm.
The quiet disagreement.
Huh. Interesting.
You're like, you just keep telling yourself that,
Yeah.
sir.
It's a nice theory. Just kidding.
Yeah, Dan says anything can be awesome, just got to be done right. And Mighty Geek Studio says there's a reason why Masters of the Universe outsold Barbie. Heyday in Masters of the Universe was the highest selling like action figure toy of any type for, yeah, it was really big for like 4 years, and then it just stopped.
Oh.
It just fell off the plate. It had its run, and then it just kind of become the memories of man children like myself.
Aww.
Oh.
It's so sad. Well, I've got to finish doing the reading of, like, I'm doing that arc reading for that book,
Yeah.
that Rush of Ravens, and then I'm going to start reading comics. Although the majority of everybody said that I should read, is it pronounced manga or manga?
Manga.
Manga. Okay, that's what I thought. That is what everybody keeps telling me because I like the shows.
I mean, it's all comics, it's all drawn pictures with words. It's just a matter of finding a story that really resonates with you. And that's where, like, and with manga, but I guess then, like, where do you even start?
Yeah. I mean, I thought about starting with like Death Note, because I've had several people recommend that one to me. But then I don't know. My brother said I should just go and start reading like the classic comic books, like the superhero stuff, I guess. That's what he said. He likes Captain America.
But it's like, but yeah, sure. But then where do you start? Because if you start with the original material from like the 40s or whatever, you'll be bored out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, I
Like it
don't know
was
which ones he has. He
in
said he'll send me
a
a
certain,
list.
yeah, it's been made in a certain era, and like you can respect it for the classic nature of it, but unless you're a hardcore, like diehard comic book fan, the old stuff will probably bore a person to tears. And then, but he's been published ever since. So it's like, where do you even start?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna try. But now, I feel intimidated.
Dan's got to take off. Thanks for stopping in, Dan.
Yes. See ya. I think I'm struggling with my internet again. I think my phone keeps trying to connect too. You may have to read these,
Okay.
fortunately.
Yeah, the video hasn't wavered or anything, so that's the important part is there.
You should start with MHA, then read the DC Rebirth line, Jess. What's MHA?
I have no idea.
Marvel. Come on, Rob, you're supposed to know these things.
I never have dared to suggest that I know everything. I just know the little that I know.
Sure.
Uh-huh. You're like, are you not a comics historian,
Yeah,
Rob?
you try to pretend like you know everything. I know you do pop a video out every day and you don't know.
And oh yeah, they're saying My Hero Academia. That's right. Okay.
Oh, okay, so that's a manga, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I know the show or the anime. Um, so my brother-in-law is watching right now, and we share a Crunchyroll account. Well, I say we share, but I'm just mooching off him. And I see that he's watching that one. So maybe I'll do that one then. Again, I want to sit down and read them all. I know it'll take me a second, and I feel like it is very intimidating when, getting started in this area, but, you know, I'm
And
excited.
I've got mountains of regular comics. I'm sitting here trying to think of stuff that I've got that might interest you.
Well,
Some I mean, it depends on like some of the stuff that I find interesting is like there's a book called The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
ooh, I
Uh,
like that movie.
that movie was so horrible.
Really?
It's fucking atrocious. But I'm comparing it to the comic, which
Oh,
was
okay.
so much better. And the concept is, all these literary characters formed together to form like basically a superhero team to take
Right.
out bad guys. And I found volume 2 to be the most interesting because it's basically those literary characters present during the situation that happened with War of the Worlds, where like alien
Oh.
pods fall from the sky and start melting humans everywhere. And so you've got, Mina Harker from, Dracula, which she was not a vampire in the comics, which is a dumb thing they did in the movie, but the Invisible Man and Jekyll and Hyde um and it was just really interesting because the guy who wrote it is so damn smart. He knows
Mhm.
about these old novels, and so he weaves these characters into this story, having them take on like the aliens from War of the Worlds, and it was so damn good. And it's got one of the most like disturbing scenes in a comic I've ever read, where I was like, holy shit, I can't believe they did that. That was done so well. That was really fucked up.
All right. Now you've piqued my interest.
I think somebody just suggested, and I don't know if you've seen the videos, but if you like something that's lighthearted and action adventure, the Danger Girl comics are so fun.
Oh, yeah, I have watched those. Those ones really interested me.
They're so good. It's such like lighthearted fun. It's sexy with the girls, but it's like a Steven Spielberg movie with Indiana Jones and James Bond and
Yeah.
Charlie's Angels. It's fun. It's nothing but pure joy and fun adventure stuff. So I highly recommend those, and I have them all. So you're welcome to borrow them if you want to do that.
Oh, well, thank you. I actually might take you up on that. I had forgotten all about those.
I might retroactively rescind my permissions and just tell you no, just to piss you off,
What would be the point of that?
just to make you squirm.
Well, maybe squirm. Is that what you think it would do? Well, well, well.
But yeah, that League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I really hated that movie because they made Mina Harker a vampire in the movie. I'm like, she was never a vampire, but they did it just because they wanted to have Vampire Girl. In the comic and in the original novel, she was just a human. But in the comics, she's just someone who went through that horrible experience, but she's come out of it kind of a bitter but very strong-minded woman in very prim and proper old England. So no one
Mm,
wants to listen to her, but she's like the smartest person in the room. So it was a really interesting take. I really like it. So, and again, I
yeah,
have
it's been a
read,
while since I saw the movie, to be fair, but I mean, I remember I thought it was pretty good.
yeah, they have the Nautilus and what's his name? The captain of the Nautilus from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Um,
I
what is his name?
want to say Ahab, but that's not. That's the Moby Dick. Somebody will.
Is he is? Mm, I keep wanna say Ulysses, but
Nemo.
that's Nemo, yes,
Thank
Captain
you,
Nemo.
Brunson. Yep, and my geek studios. Thank you. Yeah, he was a really interesting character in that book. And again, I've never read any of the original novels. In fact, they made me kind of want to, but I know just enough, a little bit from some movies and stuff like that. So the books, the comic book series of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was profoundly interesting to me. Volume one was good, but took me a while to get into it because it was more of a Moriarty, Sherlock Holmes kind of thing, and I found it kind of boring to start. It got interesting by the end, but volume two was profoundly interesting to me.
Interesting.
It's one of my favorite comic series ever. And so
Nah.
again, why I hate the movie. But if you've only ever seen just the movie and that's your only context, you're like, oh, there's all these literary characters and they're running around being awesome, right?
Yeah,
So, but again, it's one of those like, I've read the source material. I know what it's supposed to be like. And
fair enough.
in fact, I used to date a girl a million years ago who loved that movie, and I was telling her kind of just like I was telling you why it sucks, and she's like, "You're ruining it for me. I really like it." I'm like, "You can like it. I'm not telling you can't like it. I'm just telling you why."
To be fair, your reaction when I said it,
Hmm.
if I was dating you, I might rethink it, like, "Wow, that was rude," you
We
know?
are not dating anymore. In fact, you need to get out.
Yeah, just
Actually,
gonna point that out in case you come across that instance again, why
I
she might have felt that way.
kind of doubt that will come up again.
You don't know. Yeah, when he said she will, make sure I get those Danger Girl ones, so
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy the hell out of those. And I just have to review the final book for the original. It's 7 issues of the original, and the original is the only one that's worth a piss because it's the original writer and artist, and he's done other volumes, but it's other people drawing him, and they're kind of fine, but it's just not the same, you know. It's like
yeah.
a pale imitation of the shit that was awesome. And that guy, he's still drawing. He just draw comics covers anymore. He doesn't draw comic book stories, and it just pisses me off.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
You're like, oh, let me shed a tear, boo hoo, Rob.
I mean, I was being genuine.
You were not. Shush your
I
shush your
wa I was. Shush. I shush her.
shush your shusher. I mean, I'm trying to be nice. I'm not gonna. I could be rude to be like, shut your dick holster,
Oh my god.
which is one of my favorite phrases because it's so fucked up. I
Oh.
heard that. I about pissed myself laughing from the whole like. Yeah,
Wow, wow.
that's
That
so good.
is
Points to
hilarious.
anybody. You can tell me where that phrase came from.
I don't know.
Mm. Even my roommate just wrote, "Wow."
Yeah, I
He's
am
like,
actually not as surprised.
how is this guy someone that lives in the same house as me?
Well, on that note, I am probably gonna jump off.
You got a family movie night to jump onto?
Yes, we are going to watch Who Knows What. I will, if you are in the Discord, I will maybe toss that in, what we end up watching, just for fun. Um, but cracks me up that Tyrus knew what you were going to be having for dinner tonight.
Carnivore diet does make things kind of limited to few certain things.
I don't know if he remembered that or not, but maybe. I was
Uh,
impressed. I'm impressed. I just thought you'd cheat on your diet. Is my
yeah.
was my guess.
um, Mighty Geek Studio says, "Who wants to see Jessica draw a horror comic?"
Ooh, have me draw a horror. Oh, because of this.
I mean,
I just don't have the patience to draw a comic, or maybe the passion. I don't know. Maybe it's both.
what would be interesting is to have you like write a thing, come up with the ideas, and then have I don't know me draw it. But like, what kind of wild ideas would you come up with? I think that would be interesting.
Okay. Well, maybe when you're done with your, big project, We can entertain this.
I can entertain the concept.
We could do it. I mean, I'm if someone else is gonna draw it, I'm cool with that. But all right. Well, bye everyone. I'm assuming you're staying on for a while.
Yeah, I'll stay on for a minute.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out and chatting with me, guys. It was fun. I will talk to you later. Bye.
Cool. See you later. And now it's just down to boring old me again. If I had the ability to retroactively like invite someone onto the thing to take her place, I would, but I don't think I can. Oh, maybe I can. Anybody in there drawing that wants to join up? And I'll see if I can. Someone saying James, do I know you? I got to have somebody I at least maybe kind of know, or at least know who you are. Nathan Judd, are you drawn? Yeah, Nathan Judd, this is my phone right here. So it just accesses the camera on your phone and goes from there. Hey, Brandon Rodriguez. Damn, I got several potential takers. Nathan, are you on there? Are you serious or nah? All right. Did I lose Nathan? I'm going to move on to option number 2. So were you serious, Nathan, or just joking? Just let's see. Hey, doesn't it say on there somewhere, Nathan? Like, does it say in there like ask to join? Or am I thinking of Instagram? That's probably Instagram. Let's see. It wants me to send a link either to directly to your phone or message you like text or a Facebook Messenger. So I have to have your information. So I have to be connected with you some way otherwise. It won't let me send it. I can't. I mean, I'd have to. I don't want to. I'd have to like. Do do do. Yeah, it's just somewhere that I'd have to be able to send the link to somebody, so where you can like push on the button and get the link to it. So I have to have your connected to you somehow to make that work. All right, Nathan, try that. I sent it. See if that works. Working out the bugs to the system live. I'm sure this is quality live stream material. Here we go.
Yeah,
There we are.
and
You're on, man.
all right.
Right.
Oh no,
No pressure, sir.
is is the audio is the audio not going to come through? Just making sure it doesn't come through on the thing.
I mean, I can hear you fine the way I normally do on these things on my end.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm just making sure it's not picking up the speaker of on when you talk.
So yeah, on my end, everything sounds normal. Does it sound normal on
Yeah,
from
no, that's
you?
fine.
Okay.
No, it's all good. Yeah, okay, cool. Wasn't sure it was
Awesome.
going to work. Nice. Oh. Yeah, I was doing some. Does this work? Wait. Yeah, there we go. Some delightful clouds while I was listening to you guys talk and have a bit of fun.
Yeah, thanks for um Jessica had to take off, so I was like, well, maybe I can link up with somebody else, and then
Yeah. No, that's cool. I'm happy to chill, keep you a little, keep you a bit of company for a bit.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. So introduce yourself to the crowd. Tell them your likes, your turn ons, your turn offs, all that stuff.
uh, yeah, I feel like the guys from the Discord will probably know my stuff because I'm always
Yeah.
being annoying and posting. I'm from Australia, so you can probably hear my accent. But yeah, I like drawing mostly, and currently, well, pretty much I finished all the pencils on my current like independent comic. Feels kind of weird enough to say, but yeah, so about to start on inks and stuff soon. This is that comes up. That is one of the main guys from it, like a little bit of a portrait. So yeah, is that enough? It feels weird talking about myself. I'm not
I
used
know
to it.
it's always awkward, isn't it? It's just one of those things where you have to just kind of forget and just get used
Just
to it and
relax. It's
just
only me and
relax
you
and let it
here.
happen.
It's just there's no one
I
else.
feel the same way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just us two, just relaxing on camera on YouTube.
Right. That's all. It's no
Yeah.
big deal. Yeah, if I
Um,
think about it too much and think about how many people might actually be listening, maybe um, I would just like, oh God, I can't focus. So, but no, I get it.
yeah. No, it's cool. It's cool to finally like talk to you because I've watched you like for a decent amount of time. Always find your when you review a comic is pretty funny. That's kind of why I first started watching. I was like, hey, he's making fun of that comic. I like that comic. And I was like, it's funny. So it's okay.
Yeah,
So
I mean, yeah. Whenever I'm making fun of a thing, I mean, often it's just kind of just having fun. Like I don't really mean it
no,
usually,
no.
but there's some times where I'm like, oh, I definitely mean it. But it's all just
I think you have to have an opinion. Like that's the thing. It's like, oh yeah, I
yeah.
think it's funny.
My roommate loves your accent.
What is your roommate a pet? Is it a dog? Or is it an actual human?
Yeah, I'm sorry. What's that?
Is it like an animal, or is it like you actually have a
No,
roommate?
it's a woman in the other room,
Oh, okay. Um,
so it's a good
yeah.
couple.
See, I don't think we have a very nice accent. I think, yeah, I don't know. I think there's like Scottish is like a really nice accent. I think our accent is like really abrasive, especially when you hear it next to like an American's accent.
Yeah,
But thank you for the kind compliment. It bolsters my ego. You know, I'm an exotic comic artist from Australia.
I mean, if you're like me as a guy, anytime somebody gives me a compliment, I'm instantly registering it forever because I don't ever get that many.
Oh, that's just a guy thing. That's just how it works. You just think you go, wow, I got that compliment 4 years ago. That was so nice. You just hold on to it. You're like, yep.
100%. Yes, that is so true. I'm glad I'm not the
Mm.
only.
No, that's just how it is. I think it's just you get used to it. That's why we're so stoic and manly. Nice done, Steve. Yeah, I was saying in chat earlier, like I don't have you drawn Savage Dragon before? Like
Sorry. What?
Eric, have you drawn like Eric Larson Savage Dragon?
Oh, have I ever drawn the dragon? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, yeah,
I've tried here and there.
yeah.
God, maybe I should just. I just busted out a new piece of paper. I should give it a
Okay.
shot. Because now it's like now you've challenged it, and it's
Uh, So you're braver than me. I'm just gonna like pretend I've drawn this whole thing on stream in the last 20 minutes, guys. That's how quick I am. I'm so quick. This wasn't 3 hours work at all. Alright.
the thing with Savage Dragon. Getting him right is, in my opinion, it's the way that Eric Larson draws him, which is massive upper body and arms, And if you don't
Yeah.
get that right, it doesn't look right. And
Usually it's people moaning about the fin. If you don't get the fin right, you're like outcast by all the dragon fans forever.
yeah, yeah. If you go and everyone screws it up. They always don't. They always get that fin on his head wrong. I'm like, come
I've,
on.
I've done it. I haven't done one in a while. I used to think like, oh man, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it right. And every time I've like butchered it, and I'm like, this is the worst Savage Dragon drawing I've ever seen. But it's fun. It's fun to attempt. If I ever want to just put myself back in my place, I'm like, let's try to draw a dragon again. Because you can't hide behind anything. I can't hide it with hair. I can't like, you know, if you step up the anatomy and with that fin, yeah, there's nothing to hide behind.
Yeah, I want to. I'm anxious to get into the Savage Dragon comics, and I've done the mini series, but I've got 12 long boxes of comics out in my storage shed, and I haven't yet run into my big old. Like I've ran into several because I've been collecting dragons since day one, so I've got a lot of books, but I can't find yet like
Um,
the first 100 issues, which is the primo stuff, and so I'm like, God, I gotta
yeah.
find because they're so good.
Yeah, I've got the. He just did like a new format. Hold on. You guys see that? Yeah, so he just did this, which I haven't actually read correctly yet. But this is like all the original 1 to 8. So the miniseries and then Savage Dragon. So 1 to 5 of the miniseries and 1 to 8 all put together.
So it's the first 8 issues of the regular series,
Yeah, so first 8 and then that miniseries, which
right?
I'm assuming came out before it.
Yeah, yeah. He did a 3 issue miniseries to start, and then he restarted the regular series with another number one. And
Yeah.
that the Dragon comic was just the best. It was so damn
Yeah.
good.
I just like the amount of like energy he can put on like a page. Like I just see like, yeah, I'm like, and he's so like loose as well, but so loose. And I like this era because he's like really loose, but like super tight at the same time.
Yep.
So you end up with just these really energetic pages. I feel like his style's a little bit different now. Like it's a little bit like I think it's like quicker, in my opinion. Like
Yeah.
not sure how to probably say it, um, but I like the original Dragon. The new guy, I haven't read the Malcolm stuff, so I'm not really up with it on that.
Yeah, I've
On
been
that,
collecting it
pretty cool.
nonstop, but it's not as interesting to me as the original stuff was.
Yeah, I think this guy looks pretty badass. Dude, I
Uh,
didn't realize the feet only had 2 toes.
yeah, he's got 2 toes. Yep.
That's yeah, I just like the way like all this hatching, all this inking. And then have you seen how he draws with his hand? You seen that?
What's that? What's that last part you said?
Have you seen how he actually holds a pencil?
Oh yeah, he doesn't he hold it
Yeah.
like
It's
kind of
like
like some
a
weird.
claw. Like
Yeah,
um,
not like a normal human being. He does really weird.
it's I don't even know. It's so weird. It's like I think he plants it and he kind of draws. Yeah, it's bizarre. I can't. I'm like it's like interesting to watch, but it's just weird. It's a bizarre thing. I'm
Yeah,
like, how?
yeah. Even he knows it's weird. He's like, I know. It's just what I'm used to. How I work.
Yeah, I think he's like, I learned in a really bad way and then couldn't change it. And I was like, yeah, that would probably do it.
Yeah. Once you're used to it, once it's your thing, then well, this is it.
But you can't argue with the results as well. So, I mean, if it's not broken, you know,
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah, those original Dragon books are so fun. Like I said, I can't wait to get them and just start. Um,
nah, I reckon you'll have like tons of fun. I don't know if you made a video on it, yeah, but man, yeah. Once you read the story, because the story is just so funny and the villains are just like there's a lot of humor, but the villains are just so kind of ridiculous. But then some characters are like really lovable at the same time. It's just yeah, it's like a bizarre. You can tell he's had a lot of ideas for a long time, and he kind of finally puts them together. So
Yeah, oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, these are characters he's had in his head since being a kid, and
yeah,
he's just finally just running loose and crazy with them, and yeah, very entertaining stuff.
so um, yeah. So let's look in. Yeah, you work so fast. You can tell like how long you've been drawing just from that. It's like, whoop.
Well, I've just kind of tried to learn to like just I had to learn to not stress about it too much and just get loose and just let it start happening. And eventually, so I don't know, it's kind of like molding something out of clay. Just keep working it and working. Eventually, it starts taking shape. And
Yeah,
um, but I do also, yes, I do kind of tend to work fast. Whether that's good or bad, because maybe if I take more time, maybe they'd look better. But um, I don't know. It is what it is.
no, I don't know. I think you kind of capture the energy and you can go to the inks a lot quicker. Like there's definitely I wish I could work as fast as you or be as brave with the inks. Like you can just go in and ink, and I'm like, I get so scared of losing my pencils that like I used to scan it and then print it off on blue line, and then I'd ink it over that.
I have that same stress all the time. I'll get something drawn and I'm like, I love the way this looks. There's something here that I will not be able to replicate if I try to ink it as it is. So I'll either not ink it and I'll just abandon it and leave it sitting forever, or I'll go get a photocopy of it so I can ink a different version and not screw up the penciled version. I have that all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sometimes the loose pencils just have an energy that it's so rare to capture that when you do a finished drawing. But anyone else looking at it won't see what we see, and they'll see the incredible imagery in the inked drawing, and they'll be like, it looks perfect, don't change a thing. I'm like, no, but the pencils is where it was at. And then some people just don't get it.
yeah. I think there's just the energy with the pencils, but I think it's the gradients. Is kind of what I've come to like. You have even though using the same pencil, there's like those subtle gradients and the underdrawing that comes through, and you kind of get used to it. You're like, wow, that's cool, and it's like energy on a page, and then when you ink it, you don't have all that there necessarily, unless you're like really really good at inking, which I'm not there yet. So that's kind of the difference for me. Like sometimes, yeah, I'll just like I really like those pencils, and you ink it, and you're like, man, this looks so stiff. That's been my biggest issue, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you're right. It's it's tricky.
Mm. Well, I think that's the challenge. I think at the end of the day, that's what kind of keeps you coming back.
Let's see. So I got my basic pencil sketch here. So I actually moved on from the blue pencil, and so then I'll just do a light erase over the pencil if once I start going to throw some ink lines down.
So here's me drawing a smoke cloud, and you're drawing that. So I'm making you look really good right now. That was my plan. I came in so prepared. I was like, yeah, I've got a half drawn smoke cloud. So you know what this actually is because like X-Men Life Death. I think you did a video on it a while ago with Barry Windsor-Smith
on which one? I'm sorry.
on like Life Death with like X-Men.
And what about it?
I've just been looking at it, so I'm trying to learn like how he does, like Barry Windsor-Smith does all his smoke and like atmospherical effects.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So that's and like that book, you open it and just how he textures everything without kind of over rendering it, and it's just crazy to me. I know.
yeah.
Yeah, this book just blows my mind when I read it.
Yeah, I want to get more Barry Windsor-Smith. There's some art book he did that I saw on the cartoonist kayfabe channel that they were looking at some black and white artwork of. I don't even remember what the hell it was. I keep meaning to go back and find it because it was just a bunch of beautiful rendered black and white work. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've gotta get on this thing.
Yeah, it's so crazy because like his work looks amazing black and white. And I watched that video you did the other night, Day End. Was it you put up like either last night or the night before?
It was Brian Stelfree's comic, Day
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
yeah. I was watching you. Have you read the colored version, like the actual comic?
No, I didn't even know it existed before I found that thing.
Yeah, it looks so different. And so I was like, man, the one you have, I was like, man, this looks like such a serious ink. Like the tone of it looks awesome. And then I looked at the colored one. I was like, this looks completely different. Like it's a completely different book. I was like, this is crazy. Like you really missed so much of the ink work he did. I was like, man, I was like, I don't know if I'd be happy if I was him. I'd be like, man, that color is like the colors weren't bad, but it changes like I don't know the vibe of that book. It was kind of weird.
I see that happen a lot where you can see the artist's original black and white work and then you see the colored version and they just not that it ruins it, but it changes it. So much work that an inker puts in is just lost. It's just obliterated.
Yeah,
You see it. I'm like, I just want to see the black and white. Um, yeah.
but I don't know if that's because like we're artists, so we're so fixated on lines. I don't know if we're like like fetishize it in a way and like, oh, I just want to see those lines. I want to see them all.
Yeah, I know that's a big part of it for me for sure. Like I just because all I do is black and white, so I like to see that. I want to see it on other people's
Yeah.
stuff. Then sometimes I'm like, I don't care how good the coloring is. I want to see, I want to see this black and white work.
But I think your stuff works really well because you have a really good understanding of like shadows. So when you put blacks on, like it looks really good. Like it pops off the page. Like you can just look at your page, with no work done, pre-scanning everything, and it kind of just pops at you. Like I think that that's like a big thing. Whereas I'm definitely not as confident with blacks. So I kind of avoid blacks at all costs because I'm like, you know, I'm scared.
Yeah, I've had to kind of force myself to dig into it because I feel like if you can get it right, it really makes a page pop. And that's what I'm
Mm.
going for. And I guess I've had some success, I guess. I appreciate that, what you were just saying. Like I'm my own worst critic. I'm like, all I see is what's wrong. And then I go online and see other people doing really good work. And I'm like, I'm not even close to this stuff. So how do these other people get to be so good? I don't understand.
Um, just I don't know. I put it down to like most people. I think there's people who have that natural talent, but I think there's people who work super super hard over a long period of time, and they get better. And hopefully that's me one day. That's the dream of clean this.
Let's see.
See my ink. So this was done. I was hoping that fits on the. Yeah, I'm definitely more like lineup based. So this is all traditional inks, and probably the most fakest perspective if you actually break it down. So no one drew any perspective lines on this. I just did it to make it, you know, faked it, okay? But it was kind of fun. But yeah, I'm so scared to put blacks in. I'm just like, hopefully, hopefully there's enough detail there that it just gets you
Right.
interested.
Yeah, I get that. like hopefully the drawing itself just is entertaining enough. Yeah, I struggle with that all the time myself. It's like I don't know if I should I over render it? Am I under rendering it? What do I do? What's the next step? Do I just walk away? I found that sometimes just walking away from a drawing is good because you can just come back fresh set of eyes a couple days later and you might be like, oh, it's perfect as it is, or a glaring error suddenly staring you in the face after the fact. You're like, how did I not see that before?
Yeah, I've done that. I've done that many a time. Where like I'm like, man, that pose is so good. That's the best pose I've ever to come out the next day. I'm like, that arm is so broken that he looks like he fell out of a tree. Like, like that is the worst nightmare. But well, I think that's what changes as you kind of get better. It's like you see more of the mistakes than you did, you know, a year ago. Like I look at my old drawings, I'm like, that was the best at that time. I look at it now, I was like, oh man, I would totally draw that different, you know.
Yeah. What's more frustrating for me is sometimes I'll look at a drawing I did 20 years ago and I can still see how I'm like, I did things wrong. But then there's some elements to it. I'm like, I don't know if I could do that now. Like sometimes there's just stuff that's like, how did I pull that off? Like and that's happened a couple of times. I'm like, I don't know if I could do that now, and that's frustrating.
Um, I, I I can almost guarantee you good. I think it's like, but sometimes it's like you have a bit of a style change, or you're experimenting, and you find a different way to do it, or you're just seeing something with a fresher pair of eyes as well.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think. I think that's probably one of the better things. Is for the most part, I don't think you can get worse. Your style might change unless you have really bad health issues. But
Right.
hopefully, most people don't get worse as they get older, unless there's other stuff kind of going on.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're constantly drawing, you really technically shouldn't get worse. Just you might change. So yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
So that's a big arm I drew here, and I still don't think I got quite the scale right. And I don't.
But you know what I think he's kind of made him that way because he's not fully human. Like you can't get like uncanny valley. Like if his arm is like ridiculously big, because he's not a straight up human, his face is so different enough that it's like I think you can manipulate it a bit more. You get the extra 20%.
Yeah. Someone saying, I don't know, Rob. Frank Miller's work has changed, but I'm not sure what to think about. That
I was
is
waiting. I was waiting for that.
100% true. Frank Miller's current stuff is just un. I can't even look at it. I don't get it. And some people are championing him like he's trying a whole nother thing. He's daring to be different again. I'm like, yeah, but maybe he's lost his mind.
Um, I don't know. It's hard because I never followed. I was never like the biggest fan, so I never followed a lot. So it's like I feel like when I don't know an artist that well, it's like I can't really comment too much because I haven't seen their journey or something.
Yeah, like if you see his work on the '80s on Daredevil, it's
Oh,
so
yeah,
good. It's a more kind of realistic style, and then he kind of pushed it into some more stylized look on Sin City. But then just what he's doing now, it's just like it makes Rob Liefeld look like a genius. It's so
but yeah. See, Rob Liefeld is a genius. You're missing it. This is what everyone gets wrong. I mean, the dude, he cracked it. He
true.
cracked the code, man. He's living the dream. He's in his mansion. He gets to draw every day, and then there's us. I'm going to work.
Yeah.
So who's the punk here? I think he nailed it, man. He's got a memoir coming out soon as well.
I saw that. Yeah.
Right. I think you're gonna have to get that day one, you're gonna have to read it and just do a video straight away.
Have a
Like,
comment on it right away. To be fair, Liefeld's always got interesting stories and insights into that's something I never had a problem with Liefeld is his stuff he's seen, stuff he's experienced, conversations he's had personally. Um, it's my only struggle is just his art, his current day work. Um,
yeah,
but yeah,
but the other way you got to think about it as well is like he's still doing like paid work as well. Like I'm sure he doesn't have to. He could just be like, I'll do a cover once a year and then I'll sell it for crazy amount of dollars. But like, it definitely issues and he gets a lot of hate. But I think there's a lot of stuff like, he still puts in a bit of work. Arguably, not everyone likes it, but then the people who do like it really, really like it. So
yep,
I think that counts for something as well.
yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, he's certainly got his fan base, and just it's complicated. It's complicated. I got Mooper son in the chat saying the Savage Dragon, my dragon here, he looks so nice. You're right. I didn't make him look like a violent murderer, but to be fair, Dragon has
Look,
moments where he's very much a happy guy in a good mood and will smile. Um, that's just not the memorable imagery.
no, he is. I think he just had more that 90s smile. Like he would smile after he smashed the shark guy through a brick wall and was
Right?
like, "Oh yeah!"
Yeah,
Like
hell yeah. So you read the Savage Dragon series? Like how much of it have you read?
I think I've read up to like 9, but I read it like 2 years ago.
Okay.
So it's like I know like enough, but like then it's like hazy because it's like I can't say I've read it that recently. Like I remember all the anecdotes, but
Sure.
yeah. But I read it because I'm a sucker for art as well. So like a lot of nice stuff. I'm like, this story is kind of like pretty bad, but the artwork is cool. And then this is what happens. I'm like, oh yeah, this artwork is so cool, and then I spend a
Uh,
ridiculous amount of money getting Witchblade complete.
yeah, love
Do
Witchblade.
I do I know what happens in this story? Absolutely not. No, I know nothing, but I'm like, does that
I
look
think the
awesome?
story's legitimately good. I think it's an absolutely worthwhile read. I really like it.
Um, that's good because I haven't read enough. I'm just like I like a lot of Silvestri stuff, and I'm like, yeah, Silvestri's on it. There's Turner in there as well, and then I don't know. I had a massive '90s phase. I was like, I want to draw exactly like that. That's it. That's what I want a pencil like. And obviously, and then I get more and more influences, and like every week, I might change, a little bit to a little bit different. But no, that's the thing. Every time I see it, I won't look at this stuff, and I'll come back and look 2 years later and go, that looks awesome.
Yeah, Michael Turner. That was another one of those things where when he passed away, I was legitimately sad because he was prime of his life, peak of his career. He could have had so much to
Mm.
do, and cancer killed him, and that just yeah, I was legitimately sad for that one.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely. Like, could you imagine like how good he was then, and like how crazy he would be now as well?
Yep.
Because like he would still be drawing. Like I think he was that kind of artist. So yeah, that's the part.
Run
Sorry,
away
I'm
home.
sorry. I'm so sorry, Kat. I knocked it off my makeshift stand. Okay, hopefully it's okay. Um, yeah, no, it's super sad because I was reading his stuff and I didn't know a lot about. As when I first started getting into comics, and I was like, man, I should really look up this guy. This looks really awesome, and I had no idea that he had passed away.
Yeah, it was because he kind of made it was public knowledge that he had been fighting cancer, but then uh
and then I think because I remember from the doco, like you, they thought it had gone away, and then it kind of came back.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I just remember like Silvestri when he was talking about like when he drew the buildings, like the loaf of bread and stuff, and just the funny
Yep.
anecdotes.
Yeah, that was a great story to have him like, all right, go draw a building, and he couldn't. Like, all right, let's revisit this.
But from the way they talk about that, they could say like it sounds like he drew pretty much girls like from the get go, pretty good. Like he could naturally kind of do that,
Yeah,
But so that's kind of interesting to me. He put a lot of time into that, or he just had that, natural inclination with the line art or something. Um,
yeah. I was really bummed out about Michael Turner passing on. I thought Fathom. Have you read any of those? Or
oh yeah. Well, that's how I found out. Like, I love Fathom. Um, I've got the same thing. I think I've got the first 10 issues because in Australia it's really hard to get like the actual issues, like the single issues and stuff.
yeah,
We're like, there's probably one or two like comic stores per major city. You know what I mean? And they're like so far away. Um, and then even then it's mostly new stuff, so it's quite hard to get like back issue stuff.
yeah,
But no, I really like Fathom. Crazy rendering, like on the water and stuff. Like that's usually my go-to. Anything with water, I'll be like, okay, let's have a look at Fathom, and then I'll cry and then pretend to draw something like that.
yeah. He had that inker. He moved on from the guy who was inking him on Witchblade to Joseph Weems is the inker on Fathom, and he's got a really fine line, very strong control over the ink pen, and I
Yeah.
thought it made his work look just the best.
Is he still inking that guy? Is he still around?
As far as I know, I'm not sure what he's doing now, but I'm sure he is.
I'm learning how. So sorry, I'm not really actually drawing anything very interesting, guys. I'm so bad at multitasking. I can't. I'm so scared to draw something. And look so bad. Like this guy, especially. He's too good. He's gonna look too bad. I'm just gonna read chat for a second. Rippling muscles and tantalizing sinews.
Yeah, I guess
Homoerotic.
the dragon image here is a little homoerotic.
I can't fathom being able to draw like this. It's some beautiful chat. This is why we have chat. Beautiful. It's dromanly flesh. Dromanly?
Like dragon. I think you meant to write dragon manly.
Right.
Trying to say. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of a quick sketch, but yeah.
So boom, put your signature, boom, just chuck it, put it on eBay now, boom, $100.
Right. No one would buy things.
We don't know. Come on, who's gonna buy this chat? Just buy right now. Put your pre-order in. You should do that for your book. You just go like, you buy this, and then boom, you get that.
I'll throw that in there. That's stuff I'm thinking of. I keep thinking of trying to set up like an Etsy shop and putting up a bunch of these sketches that I've done on these live streams because I've got such a big pile.
Yeah.
And just to see if anyone's interested, I could just put them on there for a price and just move them on. Squeaky McGee really wants me to draw a big old dragon dick.
Do you actually said it?
No, but I know what he wants.
See, I look at I'm looking at the YouTube video, which has a delay because I can't see my phone.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit behind. That's funny. I need to. Hold on, let me see if I can find something else next to that's better. Okay, so this is like it's not the best angle. So this was like a nightmare. So this is actually a panel I had to redraw um, in my comic to draw an upside down person in perspective falling. Bit of a nightmare.
That would be that'd be a tricky one.
Yeah, I struggled. I struggled a lot. I went through about 3 different versions, and I ended up with this. And even this, I went in and digitally redrew an entire arm and put it on a different angle, so it was kind of coming up with the body. Um, but I do like this post piece. I call it a post. I like it. But I'm sure someone who's like really good will be like, "Oh, that foot's not perfectly in perspective."
So when you do your finished art, do you do it on this? Is this what kind of paper is this?
Okay, yeah, okay. So don't do what I've ended up doing. Okay, I have the worst process. So originally when I started doing this comic, I was like, okay, I'm going to draw it all digital. But I just learned that I hate drawing my pencils digital. I don't enjoy it, and then the work becomes worse. So I end up basically because I had so many pages done that I ended up either redrawing it. I measure out the panels on on this paper. Okay, so once again, don't do this. Is the rule on what not to do. I'd measure out the size of the panels, draw it on here, scan it in to the 11x7, and then actually put the panels in the right place on the actual scanned picture. That makes sense.
Right,
Like in
right.
Clip Studio. So it's like I have a bit more freedom. I can adjust the order of the panels and I can resize it if I need to. So they're natively drawn at what it would be on 11x7, but not on 11x7 board.
Right.
Um, I'm probably never going to do this again this way because it's really stupid. Um, but I ended up I got so far into it, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep doing it and finish it. So the 24 pages are done. Don't do it the way I've done it.
It kind
Um,
of reminds me, if I heard right, there's that comic, Hard Boiled, drawn by Jeff Darrow.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
understand it because there's some of the imagery in that book that is just way too detailed to be on one paper. And if I understand correctly, it's a single page in that book is a composite, often, not all the time, but often, of multiple separate drawings. So,
uh,
it's a valid way to approach it if it gets you the final look that you want.
yeah. I don't know. I've only ever seen his stuff like on the kayfabe channel where I've interviewed him. I just assumed he drew really big, like either two up size, and then for those big pages with the hyper detailed stuff.
Yeah.
But then his inking confuses me as well because I'm like, is he drawing this crazy detail and then is he re-inking over it? I'm like, I just got so confused by his workflow. But I'm pretty sure he does ink it. Like it is inked,
Yeah.
but it's he's got a lot of patience. Put it that way.
Oh yeah, the detail that he puts into that work is. In fact, I've got a comic of his that I just found, or one of the viewers sent to me. I've got this one. I'm going to be doing Shaolin Cowboy,
Yeah,
which I'd heard of but never seen. Had no idea what it was about. And holy crap, the level of detail in this thing. I mean, it starts out with
yeah,
kind of standard kind of pages, but as it gets into the story, uh,
yeah.
it
I think
gets.
it's pretty brutal. Yeah.
I mean, like, look at this double page spread. It's spread across, like there's all these people, and just and then when you flip the page, it's like it's another double page spread continuing that image, and like they link up. These are all one big long shot, and then it goes
Mm.
on to the next page, another continued. Like, this is like 6 pages wide. I'm like,
Oh, so you're gonna want like it's like a wide, so the camera just keeps panning along.
yeah, yeah. Like you can see how this car here is off the edge of the page, but when you flip over
Mm.
here, there's the front of the car there in that corner. So if you had all this original artwork laid out, they would all link up. It's incredible what this guy does, and it just keeps going. It's just
I realized that guy's got no pants on. Nice quality. Um, yeah, I haven't seen tons of it, but I like his like you can see on that chick like his loose lines like on the material. Like it's I really like that. Like it's not super rigid.
yes, it's very organic is the word that comes to my mind. Very
Mm.
yeah, not a straight, sharp, rigid line.
Yeah. Oh, I got into him because I'm a massive Frank Whiteley is probably my
Yeah,
biggest influence.
yes.
And
I'm sorry, I never noticed this guy didn't have pants on. I just that never occurred to me because.
yeah, no.
But anyway, yes, Frank Quietly is just
Because he has like a similar sort of line style to him, like where it's Frank Wiley has like this bit of a shaky, like it's all purposeful, but it's like this it's really unique kind of line and but like crazy good perspective. So like the
yeah,
fundamentals are all just crazy. So it's like he can kind of do whatever he wants over it because the fundamentals are so perfect.
yes,
But yeah,
yeah,
I don't know how he inks it and still manages to keep it like keep the clarity even with the amount of depth. Like that just kind of boggles me.
yep, agreed. Some of these guys just like it's inspiring, but it's also like intimidating that anybody can draw this way. It's just shocking.
Mm. But obviously, it comes down like that's what he enjoys doing. So like to him, you know, it's like oh, that's how I like drawing it. So it's not you know the work isn't you know full on work. You know at that point. But if you ask me to draw that, I'll be like, oh, it's going to take me 8 years. Um,
So
I had this. No,
where you
sorry, you go.
what time is it
Sorry.
where you're
It's almost 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
wow, yeah, literally on the other side of the world.
Yeah, that's what's so hard. So when I'm up at night, I think all you guys are like asleep, and then when because it's my day off here, so usually when you guys stream, I'm at work. It's like my morning at work.
Yep.
I'm like okay, it's quite funny. Australia.
That's awesome.
I haven't read chat. Is there any weirdos? The weirdos want to see dragons. See, people love your dragon. I love it.
Well, they like that I drew a big old dong on them because somebody asked me to do
Bro,
it.
who? Bro, really?
They
I
challenged
didn't
me.
even. I hadn't even noticed. I was literally looking
I
like
did it while we were chatting, and I made sure to put arrows to point right at it in case somebody was missing it.
that's. See, is it too big or is it too small? That's going to be the real question.
Right?
So, but the best part, okay, the best part about the dragon, the comics is like every woman just wants him. Like it's
Yeah.
just like he's in hospital, he's recovering. The nurse is just like, "Oh, dragon, let me
Yeah.
help you." It's like so good.
He's a
I
stud.
need you. I need you, dragon. Oh, that police uniform. Oof, it's majestic.
Yeah. All the ladies love him. I think that's great. And he dragon plows through several chicks in the lifetime. It's he has
Yeah,
some
I think. Yeah, I think until he gets his main chick, I can't remember her name.
Rapture.
What was that? Sorry,
Rapture was the character. The
is it Raptor? Yeah, the black chick with. I
yeah,
can't remember her power set.
she had like
Um,
lightning powers.
man, honestly can't even remember, but she's like, yeah, she's like super strong as well, but she
Oh
has her
well,
own
that's
story.
the girl. So there's Rapture that he has a kid with, and then later on, not spoil anything, but you know he
Oh,
moves on. And then there's this other big, super tall, super strong blonde chick.
Not Dart. That's different from Dart.
It wasn't Dart.
Dart is the best. All right, Team Dart over here. Okay.
Yeah, oh, she's a great character, but they always kind of had like a confrontational relationship. But he ended up with some kind of relationship with this super strong blonde girl, and God, I can't remember her name. But anyway, yeah, Dragon had many lady conquests in the book, and now the book approaching issue 300, it's like headlined by Dragon's son.
Yeah. So I haven't read any of the Malcolm stuff. I know they just moved to like San Fran.
Yeah,
So I just follow the headlines, because you've got to stay on it. But that's about my extent of the knowledge there. And he always enjoys doing an eye catching like kind of cover to get some attention.
yeah, oh yeah. Have you seen his hyper censored, very adult cover that he did a couple of years ago?
I've seen the shaving one. Is it not that one?
No, that is PG rated compared to what I'm talking about. He literally put the comic in a bag that said something like adults only. And if you look it up online, there's little censored circles covering it, but there's like 20 of them covering up all the stuff you can't see. It's Dragon's son having physical relations with like 3 different girls, and everything you could imagine in a very triple X rated kind of imagery is going on. It is, and he didn't draw it. He commissioned somebody else to draw it, and it is just beyond epic. It's just Eric Larson will do anything if he thinks it's funny. So it is extremely graphic. I'm really mad that
I think it's interesting he gets away. Like, there's a little bit of drama, but I think he gets away with it because he's it's such a cult following underground comic. I feel like if another comic did that, I'd be like, unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll have to look it up. I haven't seen that one.
It's so just look up Savage Dragon, like triple X cover or censored cover, something like that. Or if you can't find it, I can I'll find it. It's just incredible that he let this go, and I'm sure he was laughing all day about it. He's like, "Oh, this is gonna piss people off," which I love.
I think that's his kind of shtick. Like I have him on Facebook or like the group, and I see some of his posts, and like he's a pretty honest guy,
Oh yeah,
and yeah, especially like I've seen him call out other people when they've drawn his art. He's like, no, that's not right. It's really funny. He's like, no, I don't care. But I think fundamentally, I think he is actually a nice guy. He just enjoys racking up on Facebook a little bit.
yeah. In fact, I'm trying to look up that censored cover just so I can show like a thumbnail with all the amount of censored. Here we go. That's how many different parts of that image are censored, so a person can't see it. It's just
Well, okay. Well, it's interesting because I don't think he ever really gets another artist to do his covers. I thought really
it was like a variant cover, you know.
Yeah,
It's
okay. Yeah.
it's not like the only one. So I think you're right because he wants to do it all, but it's just when you see it uncensored, there are body parts and fluids
Mhm.
everywhere. It's just
So he's kind of tricky. I don't think he sells a lot of his work either. Like I know he lost. I think he lost a lot of his back stuff. He had a fire at his house or something. So I think he lost a lot of his old artwork
all
because
his
one of his
child,
houses burned down.
yeah, all his childhood stuff.
Right. I don't know. So the dragon stuff he didn't lose, or
No, because I mean that was he lost everything in a fire when he was drawing Spider-Man for Marvel. One of the last things he ever did. So all his dragon stuff he has, and he's talked about back in the day. He was going to keep all his dragon art, but he did an interview again on the Cartoonist Kayfabe guys in the last year, I think, where he said that he's actually sold some of his art, a lot of his actual dragon pages, and they're like, "We thought you were gonna never part with this stuff," and he says, he's like, "What am I going to do with 300 issues of original artwork? It's just going to sit on a shelf." And he flat out said his own kids don't really give a shit. So he's like, "I die, they'll probably just throw it in a shed or something like that, or throw in the garbage." He's kind of laughing. He's like, "I figured I should get some of it out into the hands of people that um, enjoy it."
Appreciate it.
So he has
Yeah.
part of some of his original artwork, yeah, but he held on to a big chunk of it for a long time.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. I just always thought, like, man, a lot of people must have his pages, but yeah, not a lot. But those original Dragon pages, like from the first, 1 to 20 issues, like I reckon that'd be pretty sought after.
Oh yeah, I would. There's so many pages he's done that I would love to have. I could probably come up with 50 pages that I would love to own the original artwork and in the first 75 issues alone.
I really
Uh,
love the villain. There's like the main villain guy, and he has like this metal helmet on, and he's like just the most ridiculous villain. I can't remember his name, but man, he's like funny. He like the humorously just laughs at everything, just blows stuff up. It's just chaos.
trying to think of which one that would be.
He is. Look at the book. Let's go to the source. Sure, it's more interesting than watching me draw a smoke cloud, right, guys? So sorry.
Main villain in the dragon book is Overlord.
Is it
The,
Overlord?
he looks like Doctor Doom,
Yeah, kind of.
like an armored
Yeah,
cape and a hood.
like a 90s Doctor Doom. Yeah, like
Yeah,
that's the dragon face, like right there. Everyone
yeah,
can see.
yeah.
Right there. It's that grimace, all that. Oh, it's just cross hatching. The just gnarly. I could never do that. The gnarly neck muscles was just
Yeah,
like it's really funny.
I'm always trying to replicate that, and I don't think I've ever been successful, but I keep trying.
Um, yeah, so I remember on the Kayfabe channel, and I read this, and they're like, I always put like he hates drawing backgrounds, and I never noticed. And I was like, oh, I thought his background was like look alright.
I mean, when he
I
needs
found
it, yeah, when he needs to do it, he can do it right. It's just he'll find kind of short.
it, he'll find a way to not do it. Um, yeah, like that there, that's cool. That is like a really hard shot to do.
God, you're making me want to get this book because I am extremely familiar with the original Dragon books, and like these pages you're on right there, those were not in the
Yeah,
original. Those are new
yeah.
pages.
So I'm not exactly sure what he's done. I think they have touched some stuff up. I don't know if it's I think they have recolored some stuff. So I think it is fixed up to an extent, but I don't know to what extent.
Yeah, I
So,
just those pages you're on right there are not in the original.
like, is in the page is different, like the color's different, or like the whole
No, the
page?
whole page itself, those were not in the original books. So those are added pages, probably because
Oh,
he felt like it needed to have some more extra story added to make it a more complete story, or he's trying to, you have to preserve page turns because the original books had ads through the middle of the book. And so once
yeah, okay.
add, you need to put something in there to keep a double page spread in line. So he'll throw in pages. So, but yeah, those two you're looking at, I'm almost 100% certain we're not in the original. Those do not look familiar to me at all, and I am very familiar with the dragon.
Mhm.
So it makes
But
me want to get this collection.
look, you should not get this. Don't get this book, okay? Just don't get it, which will make you want to get it more, okay? Definitely don't get it. All right, look, all those buildings there. It's it's cool. Like I feel bad because I've had it for like a month or two, but I actually haven't had a good look at it yet. It's in
Yeah.
my pile of like I need to read when I'm not drawing or working. But yeah, this guy is here. I think he's like a big image character. I don't know his history.
Well, that's
Um,
Super Patriot. That's Eric Larson character. And if you let's see, can you move the book up just a little bit? I'm trying to see
oh,
that.
sorry.
See, oh yeah. So you see how he's got that big old star on his crotch? When I reviewed this issue on my comic channel, that was the thumbnail I put because I couldn't resist. It's probably the worst thumbnail to put for the video, but I put that crotch shot with the star for
Mm.
the thumbnail to the video because I'm like, this has got to be, this is what I got to do. Anyway, it makes me laugh. I don't think anyone else gives a shit, but I was laughing at my own sense of humor.
What boggles me is the '90s is that how everyone committed to like the cable arm, this thing, and you see it everywhere, which is like the stock standard like Winter Soldier metal arm,
Yep.
and everyone has it, and I'm like, I can't believe everyone has it because you gotta have like a really good understanding of form to kind of draw it without making it look wrong. Yeah, always surprised me is how often you see it. Yeah, like this is a character that if someone goes, "Hey man, can you do a comic of this guy?" You'd be like, "Oh no, no, thank you, I'm fine." You
He
know,
had a
you know,
limit. He had a series for a while,
mm.
or at least a
You know how to do this guy's comic? Every shot is a shoulder and a face shot, and you have one page like this, and then you go back up here. That's all we're gonna see. That's all you see of it now.
Yep.
That's that's how I would choose it. That's some Wolverine here. But I think this is what you're pretty good at is, and I'm still figuring it out, is how you scale and simplify like a face. So if you're drawing a face, and this is like super crazy because it's really small, but when you draw a smaller face and whatever, but how you simplify the eyes and the mouth and stuff,
Yeah.
and then as it's bigger, you bring in more detail. Um, I don't think that's like ever talked about ever, but I feel like that's like a skill set unto itself.
Yeah. Finding a way to portray things and clearly, but have it small is can be tricky.
Mm.
Yeah. You're making me want to get. I'm going to go out and find my
Yeah.
dragon books. Like I can't wait to revisit them. It's been so long, and I love
Okay.
them so much.
And then you got Bedrock, not Bad Rock, Bedrock.
Yeah.
All right.
Pre-bad. He's still bedrock.
We need that issue with what's that you mean what the lobster guy's called? Everyone loves?
Jimbo, the mighty lobster,
Yeah, yeah.
that
But
had.
I'm gonna steal this pose. This is the pose I'm 100% gonna steal.
Yep, it's a good
I'm,
one.
I'm I'm gonna find somewhere to use that. That's awesome. It won't look anywhere near as good. No expectations, but I'm gonna steal it. Yeah. Apparently, I think they've tried to on the group. I think they were trying to find the guy who actually did it. I think he's passed away as well, is what they've come to.
That's what I heard, and I saw them talking that they think that he's not around anymore, and it really sucks.
Mm.
'Cause it's like, well, then where do the rights to that character go to? You
Yeah,
know,
because I don't think
wanted to
yeah,
use.
I don't think Larson wants to use them, or I don't know if he can, or like he's just like maybe he just doesn't want to take the chance.
Yeah.
There you go. That's beautiful. There's top skill here: how to figure out how to draw jeans and pants really well.
Yep.
Because all because my comic is not a superhero. They have powers and stuff, but it's not capes, so there's no costumes.
Yeah.
So conveniently, every character is wearing basically jeans. But they've got different outfits. But so I've had to find like trying to draw jeans in a convincingly, interestingly way is yeah.
It's tricky.
Oh yeah, it's tricky. I think how easily you can break it as well. If you put a line, kind of breaking the perspective. Yeah, there you go, man. I think you should get it now.
Yep. Hell, even Larson gets the fin kind of wrong on that skinny panel where he's in bed with the girl. It looks like his fin's not
Right.
quite
I think you
right.
better. I think you better take that back. You're gonna get people
Right,
coming after you. You're gonna get
right.
the fin warriors.
How dare you?
What issue with it? I I don't know. This has got one. I don't know. Just buy the whole book. All right, let's buy this. For the
Yeah,
low price of. It's cheaper in America than it is here. That's all I can guarantee you. Is it in frame? It is in frame. Yeah.
yeah, I can see.
It even has the dust cover because everyone loves dust covers, yeah. But yeah, even that's a cool
Yeah.
part.
And then this thing that happens with his girlfriend in this book, that was, man, does Larson know how to leave everything on a cliffhanger?
Maybe we shouldn't show that page because it is a bit of a spoiler.
Spoiler. It's been out for 3 decades.
But I definitely think there's a change. I like this era. I don't know if it's like just how he was inking, if it was because it's all traditional. I don't know. It's how he uses lines, but like his newer stuff, you can tell it's him, but it doesn't quite have this vibe to it.
Yeah.
I don't know the proper. I don't know how to explain that properly. You know. Yeah. But yeah, highly recommend. Rob will do a video on it. He's promised you today.
Yeah, right. See, I'm committed to it. In the chat here, Freedom Tower. Yes, I see you. We recognize you. We're just having a nice conversation over here. I might need to wrap this up myself. It's been about a little over 2 hours, so I got um I need to, in fact, I have to record a video for tomorrow. I don't have one queued up. I got a bunch of books sitting out, but
No, man. No, thanks for having me on. It was fun. It was the last minute thing, but I thought I was like, it'd be cool to have a conversation with you anyway.
yeah,
So
I appreciate it. Yeah, I figured like, why not? I could see if we could figure this out and make it work. So I appreciate you
mm,
stepping. It was great to talk to you for once, for real.
yeah, and next time maybe I'll draw more than a smoke cloud with
Yeah,
some ink.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. We
Who
can
knows?
we can plan ahead, and you know, it would be fun. So thank you, thank you for
No,
joining.
dude. Thanks. Can you kick me out? Or do I have to leave? I don't know.
Um, Close out the thing. Yeah, there's got to be a way for you to connect your own, but once I close, it'll all shut. It'll all stop on its own. So yeah, all right, everybody. Thanks for joining. Whoever's still listening and watching,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thanks for
Yeah,
signing on Instagram. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
yeah. All right, man. See you guys. Bye.